as you know, a major RIP. This happened this week. Rich Homie Quan passed away, I believe, at the age of 34.
Yeah, he's about his birthday.
Oh, wait.
33. His
33.
Birthday was coming up in a few more weeks.
Okay. So, yeah. And it looks like an autopsy was performed Friday on the cause of death. However, it won't be given out until further tests are completed. So it looks like he passed away in an Atlanta hospital at the age of 33 years old. People are suspecting drugs, maybe a overdose as the cause. Mm-hmm. But it looks like it happened Thursday just after 11:20 when the Atlanta police responded to a 911 call, basically saying that Rich Homie Quan was passed out. First responders were called to the home. He was found unconscious on the couch by his girlfriend. And I remember Rich Homie Quan from Type of Way. I like that joint. That joint, do crank in the coat.
Yeah. He had like about 5 or 6.
Yeah, he had a couple joints.
Yeah.
He was a member of the Rich Gang, and he also produced music and had several hits in the 2010s. So, of course, with the melodic flow and everything. So, I wasn't a major Rich Homie Quan fan, but I definitely remember hearing my fair share of him when I was in the club.
Yeah,
and it's unfortunate, but it's also a reminder of
how life can end at a drop of a dime.
Yeah, and it's also important to remind people, these are the dangers of taking drugs. I understand that the autopsy results have not been released yet, so we don't have an official cause of what he died from, but a lot of people are suspecting drugs, and that's one of the main reasons I never had a desire to experiment when I was coming up in my young 20s and stuff, because I remember the drug of choice about 10, 15 years ago was X.
Those who, are you talking about in like
just as the new designer drug? It was ecstasy when I was coming up.
Ecstasy, Molly, ecstasy and Molly, and now it's prescriptions.
But I remember like a lot of people I know doing X and trying to get me to do it with them, and I just refused. I kept hearing those stories about somebody doing X and then they would die, and I was just like, nah, man. And they'd be just like, make sure you drink enough water, and I'm like, hydration is the key, otherwise you might overheat and die. And I'm like, that's just too much of a risk. You don't know how many times in my life I puffed a L and was already dehydrated and got cotton mouth. Imagine having to die from cotton mouth. So, yeah, if that were the case, I'd never puff weed again. So it's very important. A lot of people out there, don't get on the drugs, man. I always tell people weed and alcohol should be enough for you. You're already putting enough shit in your body with the processed foods on top of the weed and alcohol. So,
just keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, so that's a major death right there, and he's from Atlanta, so
very young.
Yeah, and he's 33. Yeah. So I mean, that's something to think about. This has been happening in the rap game for a little bit. So there have been a lot of people. I don't remember this happening in the 90s though. Not rappers. Rappers in the 90s got hit from gunshots.
Yeah, and really though, and it wasn't that many. You know what I'm saying? So,
but I mean, I'm hearing now about a lot of rappers making noise, dying from overdoses.
The prescription pills.
Yeah, and it's just something new to me because I just don't remember hearing about rappers in the 80s and 90s or even the early 2000s. This is some new shit.
Yeah, it's
not in terms of hip hop.
Right, it's not saying it hasn't happened, but not as
this has happened in other genres, rock, R&B. So it's just we didn't do that in the 80s and 90s. Niggas, the worst shit niggas did was like coke.
Right.
Coke, you laugh at crackheads. So rappers wasn't doing crack.
There was
not openly.
What was that? It was what they call them joints? They coke and weed and coke.
I know there's a name for it, but I know niggas in DC did love
them Woolies.
Yeah, that's one of the names.
Yeah.
Woos.
Woos,
Yeah,
there it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay.
Or if you was out west, it was
It was Sherm.
Sherm. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So same shit, different region.
Right.
But yeah, you got to be careful when you're out there taking those type of drugs. They're very bad, and like I said, just keep it on weed.
I mean, outside of that though, I mean, depending on whether you top of your game or you just a regular Joe and Mary. I mean, you got people that obviously care about you and love you. You got to find value in your life to where, you know, if you just, I don't know, just trying to have something to take your mind off of things. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, weed, and I'll advocate to smoke weed. Why? Because I've been smoking since January. You know when I first smoked my first blunt?
When?
January 1st, 1995.
Damn.
Yep. That's the first time I smoked my first blunt.
Yeah, I was 14 years old. It'd have been 2 more years before.
Right. And I stopped smoking twice out of my whole time I ever smoked twice. I will say, if you want to do something, smoke weed. Because it will calm you down. You might be, and I'm a very intense person. You feel what I'm saying? I'm very intense. And
So weed calms them down.
Calms you down. Might get a little munchies. Might get a little horny, you know what I'm saying? Occasionally like that. But other than that, though, that's it. Those side effects. I love those side effects, you know. And then if you drink, you know, you gotta moderate drinking. I ain't gonna say go out here and be dumbfied and drink, because some of y'all on the road, you might kill somebody. We don't need that. You know what I'm saying?
No, we don't.
You gotta be responsible when you drink. So you got, you know, socialize and stuff like that. But weed, though, oh yeah, all day. I advocate that, because if you smoke too goddamn much, you going to sleep. You gonna lay your ass down, that's for sure. But other than that, all that other, man, y'all gotta understand. You got people that might count on you. Just your presence alone can be impactful. You feel what I'm saying? So, yo, y'all be safe out there and everything. Do what you do, but be safe. That's all.
Yeah, that's it. So we're going to give a big rest in peace to Rich Homie Quan.
Yes.
You know, pray for his family. And again, hopefully people learn from this. You know, just to not make the same mistakes as other people have.
Right, because you had another superstar did same thing, a couple years ago.
Who? Oh, yeah. I mean, there have been quite a few.
Quite a few of them.
Like Juice WRLD?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking about.
That's what I'm saying. This is new, because we didn't have our rappers in the 90s overdose.
Right.
Nah, and you know, this is a trifecta, because last week it was Fat Man Scoop.
Yeah.
And the week before that it was Beat King. So
right.
That's three different.
And then just overall, you know, men of color, you know what I'm saying? Men in general. Because I don't want to make it seem like that I'm just targeting. Hey, if you over the age 25, take your ass to the goddamn doctor once a year. Get your checkups. Get your teeth checked. You know what I'm saying? Because, goddamn, some of y'all out here, y'all look like y'all done went through war with your goddamn teeth. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all look down there twice as older than y'all supposed to look age-wise and shit. Take care of yourself. Moderate, workout, walking, you know what I'm saying? Go see your doctor. Go see your dentist once a year. Because it ain't like you 18, 25, you just eat whatever and your metabolism eat that shit up. After you get past 25 now, them aches and pains last a while. And if your ass don't keep up and shake, goddamn, you will feel the difference.
Yeah.
But overall, the message is make sure you get your checkup. You know what I'm saying? Every year. You should have a physical, and you should see the dentist twice a year.
Mine is scheduled in October.
And I got my dentist appointment coming up in a couple weeks.
I had my dentist appointment in July.
Right.
I'm waiting on my physical in October.
You only got there one set of teeth. You know what I'm saying? You only got one set of teeth, because once them
Dame
bitches
Dash
it's
found
over.
out.
Yeah, and then like I said, you know, the life expectancy.
Exactly. So yeah, rest in peace, Rich Homie Quan.